it's Hell here. Um, Choosing what phalanx to use when attacking or defending is no easy thing, because when you scout an enemy that you want to hit, you won't be able to see what phalanx they're using. And the phalanx will either make or break an otherwise educated guess in your troop types, your heroes, your gear. So make sure to be careful when you select the phalanx you want to go with. Now, we already talked about countering with troop types. It's the same with Phalanx. It's the exact same countering system that cavalry phalanx will be strong against infantry phalanx kills ranged phalanx, and ranged phalanx is very good against cavalry phalanx. So if you have a player that's mainly cavalry and you make an educated guess that they will be using cavalry phalanx, and you also see that the troop types the player has that are not cavalry will not be very strong against your range, then you're safe to go with the ranged troops. Now, however, if this mentioned cavalry main player also is strong in infantry, the scout report shows that infantry is most likely the second troop type, then you don't want to go in with your ranged first unless you're super confident in that choice, but to go in with your cavalry first. Why? Because again, if you go back to the first rule about countering, make sure to never be countered yourself. The infantry that player has can counter your ranged, but your cavalry troops can't be countered by cavalry or infantry. So you would go with your cavalry phalanx or cavalry wedge, and you would send a lot of range to go along to be safe behind the cavalry and shoot down behind the cavalry and infantry and shoot down the cavalry from the other side. The same with each troop type. Always make sure not to be countered yourself. Choose the phalanx so you're as safe as possible, but also able to counter the first and strongest troop type with the second. Now, if you don't know about the phalanxes and you feel like it's a bit hard to understand, then you go look at your player profile and you select the phalanxes. And here you see your army lineup that you can choose. You can go and drill and practice here, and you can safely practice in darkness. For example, we just talked about a cavalry person that is equally strong in infantry. Now, you wouldn't want to send your infantry because the cavalry will destroy your infantry, and you don't want to go with your ranged first in case the person is here infantry first, but you would choose either of the cavalry options to not be countered yourself. Now, if you're very lucky and the person instead of cavalry phalanx uses infantry phalanx, you'll win. If it's cavalry against cavalry, it's quite even, but then again, you have the range to come from behind and shoot down the attackers or defenders' cavalry, and that makes you the winner. So choose the phalanx carefully. If you're uncertain about how to choose, go to the drill page and practice on dark nests with your guildmates.